Hi y'all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today guys we're going to be playing with some new-ish makeup while we chat about my experience at the Creators and Friends event in Las Vegas. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I zoomed you in just a little bit more so you can get more of my face, which, you know, that's what you need for Get Ready With Me. I have done my skincare. It's a little bit later in the day, so I've already done my skincare. I went out on my, morning tea run, and I've been outside, so I have sunscreen on. And I just did my brows, because my brows, I don't use new products for that. I don't do my brows on camera because it takes me forever to do my brows. How I feel about them today, they're there. And we're just going to keep it pushing. That's all I can say about that. But I want to start with a product that I've never tried on camera, but I've been using a little bit. I started trying it before I went to Vegas. And then when I went to Vegas, if you saw my last video, which was my pack with me, where I showed you everything that I took with me, I wound up taking my House Labs foundation and concealer. But before then, I was using this Revlon serum tint. It is the Revlon Serum Tint, Illuminance Serum Tint, Broad Spectrum SPF 15, and I have the shade 405. I've been using this, and I've actually been, high-key really impressed by it. It is a serum, but it does have some coverage to it. It's got I wouldn't say, the thing is most serums, they kind of have that sort of dewy finish, and I don't feel like this does. This has just sort of a natural skin-like, almost satin finish, which is very interesting for a skin tint, I will say. So I don't have a whole lot on. I'm going to put just a little bit more. And I will say with this one, I feel like I said, I feel like it's not that sheer, and you can build it up. You're not going to get high coverage from this. No. But you will get, I'm just going with my sponge. You will get a nice, if you build it up, you can get a nice medium, I would say low medium coverage. But what I've been using this for work because it's perfect for, a day where I want some coverage, but I don't want to wear a lot of makeup. I don't want to look makeup-y. I don't want to look super 100% beat, but I just kind of enhance my skin. This has been really great, and I work really long hours, so for me, if something can hold up, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, the finish is the color is actually pretty perfect, and the finish is very natural. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot of dew to it, but it also isn't super matte. It's just very natural, and I'm actually high-key very impressed by this this serum. But I wanted to try it on screen for you guys because I haven't done that, and I don't try a lot of drugstore products on my channel, or just in general. I do use drugstore products for my eyebrow products, because I just think it's there's so many great drugstore brow products that you don't have to spend a lot of money on them, because there's so many great ones that are kind of almost like dupes for the more expensive higher end ones. And I feel with brow products, you go through them so fast, it is just, for me, it doesn't feel economical to spend $22 on an eyebrow pencil. I used to do that. I don't anymore. Most of the products that I use, and I'll show you guys what I use. I don't do my brows on camera like I said, but I'll show you what I use. So I use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. It comes with the little spoolie and then the little, and it's very similar to, some of those more higher end pencils. And then I use the NYX Brow Glue. And then I sometimes go in with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. And then if I want to make them a little fluffy, not that my brows can get that fluffy, but if I wanted to, I use the NYX Thick It Stick It. It's kind of like this one, except it thickens and it gives more bushy brows. But this is supposed to be it can laminate. It doesn't. It just kind of thickens them. But if you want them to stay, I like to use these two together. So that's what I use on my brows. And none of those products are over like 12 bucks, you know? So, and they're almost always on sale, especially at Ulta. So that's what I use for my brows, but everything else I tend to be higher end products. So for me, like every now and then I'm intrigued by a drugstore foundation, and this one is the one that kind of caught my eye, and I've actually been really enjoying it. Now we're gonna flip to the other side of the price point spectrum, and we're gonna use my Gucci concealer. I bought this the same time that I bought the Tower 28 during the Sephora sale, and I just was using the Tower 28 more. So I recently started using this one, dipping my sponge into this one to see how I feel about it. And I like it. I don't think it's like this most amazing like concealer ever. I think it's a decent concealer. I don't think, for the price point, how do I put it? I don't feel like it's bad, but also it's Gucci and it's really expensive. So am I going to be like, you must have it, you must go out and buy it? No, it's nice. It kind of reminds me of the Valentino concealer in that way, in that I feel like they're like decent concealers, but they're not like amazing, you know, especially for the price point. I feel like with the Gucci, you're kind of just buying the name and the product, the like packaging, which is really pretty, and I'm a sucker for packaging. So, but I don't regret buying it because I do think it's a good concealer. Like it gives me just enough coverage. It's not full, it's like medium high, you know. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to dip into this, and then we'll get started talking about creators and friends, because let's talk about like just the trip in general, not even just the event. That was my first time traveling since before the panty, and it was the start of my trip was pretty interesting and rocky. Not anything to do with the event, but just like the travel in general. I was on the struggle bus that week, guys, and I feel like it carried over into like when I first got to Vegas. Like I was supposed to be dropping off my luggage to the hotel because the room wouldn't be ready in time because I got in it really early, and so check-in time, you know, was going to be later in the day. And I'm using the Phytosurgeon's Rosy Blaze Spectral Sunlight Cream Bronzer, or in Rosy Blaze, and this is shade 6. And again, my Phytosurgeon's review is coming up, but I am using these products in the interim to give you my full and complete thoughts on them. So yeah, I got there and I took an Uber, which took forever. The Uber situation in Vegas, guys, from the airport is intense. It's intense. I was not prepared for how intense it is. It's like you get there and it takes you to, like, you don't pick up your Uber at like where you'd pick up like the shuttles or like a cab or anything like that. They have the Ubers off in another area, which they do at the O'Hare Airport. It's just a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? It's outside, whereas in Vegas it's in the like parking area. They have like a designated area in the like parking lot, that like the under like the, you know, the parking lot building. And it's just like hundreds and hundreds of people. We're all sitting there with our phones, and it's like, they're like, Uber, it's like, your car will be at, like the slot that your car will pull into, the parking slot, you will be texted the number of your parking slot and head to your parking slot immediately. And it's just like, do not stand in the crosswalk until you have been summoned. It's very intense. It's very intense. So that took longer because, of course, there's hundreds of people, and like, so I stood waiting for my Uber to get to me for about a good 20 minutes. Fine, got in the Uber, we're on our way. It's beautiful. The mountains are stunning, and I'm just like, this is lovely. And I get to my hotel, and I'm like, yeah, I'm checking in later. I'm due for check-in later, but I called yesterday, and they said I could drop off my luggage. And the woman looks at me, and she goes, we don't do luggage holds. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, we don't do that here. Now, keep in mind, my hotel was off the Strip, and that was on purpose. I did not want to stay on the Strip. I had no desire to stay on the Strip. And I was like, okay, because my whole plan was to like drop my luggage off, and then maybe grab another Uber and go and like get lunch or something like that and relax until it was time for me to check in. Now keep in mind, by this point I had been up since like 3 a.m. because I got up at 3 a.m. to be out of my house by 4, to be at the airport by 5 for my 7 a.m. flight. I'm not one of those people who plays games. I try to get there at least 2 hours beforehand, and this was my first time doing TSA pre-check, so I didn't know what that was going to look like. And so at this point I've been up since 3 hours. It was 9 or 10 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock Vegas time, which means it was like 12 o'clock Chicago time. So at this point I'm tired. And I was like, okay, well, do you guys do early check-in? Because I was like, if that's the case, I was like, I'm either gonna drop off my luggage or I'm gonna ask her to early check-in, depending on what I can do. And the young lady was like, she's like, I can't guarantee it, but we'll see. She's like, but we don't hold luggage. I was like, great. So I go and sit down, and I'm like looking up at my phone, like luggage drop-off places. There's none directly near me, like right where I was. So I'm like, crap, I'm gonna have to take another Uber out and drop my luggage off somewhere far away, and then figure out what to do, and then come back to the hotel. And I was just like not feeling it. And then like 10 minutes later, the lady's like, oh, a room is ready. And I'm like, great. So I hop up and I'm like, great, you know what? Plan change. I'm gonna check in, and then I'm gonna take a little nappy nap, and then I'm gonna go get something to eat. I am using now, and I've never used this before, so this will be a first. This is from the same line from Revlon. It's the Illuminance Gel Serum Blush, and this is the shade 110, and it looks, it's like a muted mauve tone. It's got a little shimmer to it too, which is really pretty. So yeah, so I'm like, great. So I hop up and I go over and I'm like ready to check in, and I take out my bank card and I swipe it, and it says declined. And I'm like, try it again. Declined. I'm like, what the actual, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, wait a minute now. I swipe it again. Decline. I swipe it again. At this point, it's like my card is locked. And I'm like, son of a. So I'm like, my card's locked. I have to call and see what's going on, because I don't know what's going on. Well, what was going on was that basically like I was out of state, and they were like, well, this is a large purchase. You know what I mean? Like they were just like, I don't think so. So I wait for them to unlock it, which took longer than it should have. And then I check in. So that was my like travel day, right? And at that point it was like 1 o'clock, maybe 2. No, it was maybe like 12:30, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock. And I was just like, this is pretty. Isn't that pretty? Okay, because when I swatched this on my hand, I did swatch this on my hand when I first got it, and I was like, it like barely showed up, and I was a little worried. It is a little patchy here, but it could be because I'm applying it with my fingers. I have like, my brushes are, I'm like down to the dregs on my brushes, guys, as far as clean brushes go. So I'm just like, I could apply with a sponge, but since it's a serum, I didn't want to like risk lifting anything, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna apply a little bit more in areas that I feel like could use a little more coverage. But yeah, so I get checked in, and I'm just like, I just want to lay down and like take a nap. I hadn't had enough water, so I was on the plane, which is bad, and I was feeling dehydrated. And I was just like, I just want to go to sleep. But I'm like, but I need to eat, because I hadn't eaten since like before I got on the plane, because I had like breakfast. And so I grab some food. Luckily there's like a restaurant that's like right across the parking lot of my hotel that they recommend. I run over there, I get some food, and honestly guys, I spent the rest of that day just laying in the bed in my hotel, just like eating snacks, eating food, and that's how that day closed out. Saturday, oh, let me backtrack. Because there's another thing that happened that I don't know what was going on in my head that week, the week that I flew out, because I was just not in my right mind. You know, you have those moments where you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Where you just want to know like what was going, like what what was, you okay, baby? That was how I was feeling about myself. So I had packed a carry-on, okay? And I was like, I don't need anything more than a carry-on. I didn't pack a lot of clothing. I was very minimalist about it because I'm like, I'm only really going, like, I'm flying in on Friday. I have Saturday and Sunday, and I fly out first thing Monday morning. So I don't need a whole lot. And I need like clothes for like Saturday and Sunday day. I need my dress and like my outfit for the event. And, you know, I can travel back in what I wore Friday, because that's usually what I do. And we had laundry at the hotel, so I wasn't like worried about like that. I'm like, I can just get my laundry done. I say we, I was by myself, but I mean like the hotel itself has laundry, so I could do my laundry if I needed to. So I'm unpacking. This is Friday later in the day, because like I said, I came in and I was just like bonk, you know. So Friday afternoon, I finally get up from like laying like a little, you know, whatever, because I opened my luggage and I had taken out like my comfy clothes, because I always pack comfy. So I had like leggings and like a t-shirt and like my little fleece zippy, and that's what I had on, but I hadn't like taken out all the other things that I would need for the weekend. So I call myself unpacking, and I'm like, where are my pants? Because I had packed like, I'm like, where are my pants? And then like a movie, it occurred to me what had happened. So the night before I flew out, guys, I was rearranging my luggage, like my packing and my carry-on. And I took a couple of items out just to put them to the side so that I could rearrange things and then put them back. Except your girl didn't put them back. So I had no pants. No pants. I had the jeans that I'd worn, but that's it. And my leggings, like my Fila leggings, had Fila all on the side of them. That's it. That's all I had. So the first thing, my plans completely changed. The first thing I decided to do was I need to buy some pants. So I decided to go, and I'm going to show you guys this because I bought this, and that's what I was going to do a review, and then I just never got around to it because I wasn't like that hyped about it when I bought it. But then I saw some reviews and I was like, there's enough reviews out there for it. I don't think people need me to review this. So it's just kind of sat. And then when I was at the Creators and Friends event, I was talking to Beauty and the Fritz. I was talking to Dr. Ash and her makeup stash, and I was talking to Lauren May Beauty. And everyone was hyping this palette. This palette that has sat unused in my room, in my makeup stash, since I bought it in whenever it came out. I bought it the week it came out. So we're going to use it today. Why not? It's new. It's new to me. Maybe new to you, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to use, because I will say, in person, this has far more dimension than, oh, look at those. This has far more dimension than I was anticipating it to have. This shade Snow Angel, or Snowbow, excuse me. There's a lot of blue, like stilly tone. Oh, okay, here we go. We're gonna do it. So yeah. So back to me being pantsless. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I have to go to a mall, I have to go to a store, and I have to get myself some pants. And I'm like, I'm just gonna like run to like, I wasn't trying to like buy anything. So I'm like, I'm gonna run to Old Navy and I'm gonna get some pants. But I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna order them online and I can pick them up. Cause I own Old Navy pants. I know what size I wear in them. I wear Old Navy for like work because they're inexpensive, and I can just, like, if something gets on them or they get messed up, I'm not as torn up about it, you know what I mean? I don't wear like super expensive things, like I don't wear like I guess you could say my real wardrobe to work. So I knew what size I wear in like Old Navy pants. I'm like, I'm just gonna get some like black jeans because I didn't need like a ton, but I was going out to a nicer restaurant. I didn't want to wear like jeans. You could, but I just didn't want to. So I was like, well, if I get black jeans, I can kind of just like mix and match it with other things. So I'm like, I had taken out my pants. I had left out my pants and one shirt. So I was missing like a whole outfit. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a shirt and I'm going to get like a black pair of pants, black pair of jeans. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's another thing that kicked in, is that my body clock, like, you wouldn't think a 2-hour time difference is that big of a deal. I didn't expect it to be as big of a deal for me as it became for my body. It became such a big deal. And I was like up, because I get up early for work every day. So like during the week, and even on the weekends, my body still wakes me up relatively early because it's just used to getting up early. And oftentimes what I'll do is just like go back to sleep. You know, even though my body naturally wakes up, I'll just be like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And I'll just go back to sleep. But a lot of the times during the week, I get up at like between like 5 a.m. and 6 o'clock. Well, 5 a.m., 6 o'clock in Vegas time, Chicago time is, in Vegas time is like 4 a.m., 3 a.m., depending on, you know, when I woke up. So I woke up at like 5:30, 5:45 Chicago time, minus 2 hours in Vegas. So I was up, and I was like up. Not to mention the fact that I had went to sleep early because I was so tired. And I was just like online, like, I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna order these pants online and I'm gonna pick them up in store and I can just go on with my day. Because I wasn't planning on doing that, and I was just like, this kind of cut into other things that I wanted to do. So I decided not to do one thing that I wanted to do, one touristy thing, because I needed to go get pants. And at this point, I'm still wearing the jeans that I had traveled in, and I'm just like, I just need pants. So I place my order at 4:30 in the morning, lay back down, try to go back to sleep. I wind up falling back asleep. Head out at like 10 a.m. on Saturday. I go to the Town Square Mall in Vegas. I love that mall. I was kind of high-key obsessed. I went twice, not on purpose. The story continues. Harbinger of the future that you know that I've been there twice. So I go there, I grab, you know, I ordered a shirt and pants. And then when I left the hotel, like how it often is in the desert, it was actually quite cool. This time of year in Vegas is really comfortable. I think the high is like in the mid to low 60s. It's very comfortable. But earlier in the day, it's like 45. And I was out and it was chilly, and I was just wearing like a long sleeve shirt, like a very thin one, and my jeans that I traveled in. So I was kind of chilly, and I was like, I'm gonna get a little lightweight sweater to throw on. So I picked up my order, and I bought an additional sweater. And then I went around, and by that point all the stores are open, and I was like not planning to shop on this trip, guys. I was like, I don't need anything, I'm not shopping. But you know, I don't shop at malls. I don't shop in person very often. I am an online shopping girl. That was my drink I was opening. So whenever I'm in a store, I often I feel like I'm like one of those, like, you know, I had no defenses. With online shopping, I can just kind of like close out the website and be like, nah. But when I'm in person, it's hard for me to like say no, which is one of the reasons why I don't shop in person very often. So I went to the Sephora. And the Sephora is having that 20% off, and I was like, yeah, I think I wanna do a little something with that. So do I want to do like I kind of do. I'm thinking I might do like a little, you know, a little wingy wing or something, but not like a traditional wing. But do I have a clean brush that will allow me to do that? I don't know, guys. I've got this little baby one from Kyoto. I might try this one. We'll try this one. So anyway, I go into Sephora, and at this point I'm like, oh, you know what? I need to try the new, because by that point the new Kayali had come out. I was like, I just want to get a little sniff, you know, I just want to smell it. I'm just assuming you guys, since you can see what I'm doing in my eyes, but that would probably help. So I'm smelling that. I'm loving it. I'm walking around the store. I'm smelling it. I'm loving it. I'm like, okay. We're going to buy a travel size of this. Because again, at this point, I'm like, I'm still like, I'm not, one of the reasons I'm not shopping is because I have a carry-on. And we have been told in the email for the event, leading up to the event, to leave space in our luggage because we were getting like a goodie bag for the event. So I was like, cool, I'm not going to buy a whole lot because I don't have the space, you know, so I'm not going to buy a whole lot. So I bought that, and then I also bought a travel size of Fleur Missing Persons. Now, I know I'm on the late freight, the late train, the late bus, the after hours bus, I am on the late train with missing with Fleur and with Missing Persons, because I know that that is a very popular scent for them, but I had never tried anything from Fleur, and I wasn't really all that, I shut on my eye, I really wasn't even all that interested in it, but it was sitting there, and I was like, oh, let me just smell it and see what the big deal is, and I was just like, I understand. So I got a travel size of that. And what else did I get? Oh, and I got a setting spray, because I was like, with this, like, I didn't know what to expect with the desert weather, but I wanted to have something that at least allowed my face to continue to look like a little glowy and dewy, because my skin is like normal to oily, and it was acting okay, but it just was a little lackluster. Like, I didn't have a lot of, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't have a lot of natural skin glow. So I was like, I need something to kind of help with that. So I got like a dewy spray. I got the one from Rare Beauty, the little, like, I got a little mini of it, because I'm like, I know I can fit all of this into my little, you know, makeup case that I have that holds all my makeup. Like, I knew I could, you know, manage that. So I got that, and then I went to Ulta and lost my mind, because I was like, well, I'm like, I got like eye patches for the night, and I got like a lot of like little things that I could use that night. And I also got like a hydrating milk, because for some reason I just bought cleanser and a moisturizer, but I usually bring some sort of like, I always use some sort of like hydrating serum between those two steps, and I just didn't. So I was like, so I tried the ColourPop face milk, the 4th Ray Beauty one. That's the matcha one. That's actually really nice. I don't really buy from ColourPop anymore, but that one is actually really nice. Should I use GRWM, or is this, I swear I thought, like, that this is supposed to be gray, and it like like scratched off, but no, it's GRWM. I think I'm gonna use this Snowbow shade. I think, let's see how it builds up, because when I swatched it with my finger, it looked kind of sheer, so we'll see. But I'm gonna put it on dry first. Oh no, that has something to it. Oh yeah. So yeah, so I got just like little things that I needed for the evening, and then I went out to eat. I had made a reservation like weeks prior at the restaurant Esther's Kitchen. So I went out to eat, and then I got back to my hotel, and I had a couple hours beforehand, so I just like hopped in the shower. You know, I kind of did my hair, because I wanted to have those things done, because I didn't want to rush, and I don't like rushing for events. So I was like, I'll get that out of the way, and then I can focus on like my makeup and stuff later. And I was able to like chill a little bit before the event. Night of the event, the Uber situation in Vegas is very interesting, I will say. As somebody who lives in a major city that has a much larger population, the Uber situation is interesting. Like, the wait for Ubers was interesting. The pricing of Ubers was interesting. Like, Ubers in Chicago are not cheap, but I was blown away at how expensive they were in Vegas. Like, I was truly blown away. But just to give you an idea. So I opened the Uber app like 20 minutes before it was time for me to leave, just to see how long it would take me to get there, because I picked a hotel that was actually quite close to the venue itself. Because I just thought it would be easier. course my camera cuts out as I'm getting into the story here. I chose a hotel that was quite close to the venue, because I knew I didn't want to be on the strip, and I was like, well, I might as well pick something that's close to where the whole reason why I'm here, you know? So it was only going to be like a 7-minute ride at the most. And I looked at the pricing. It said $7.92. I was like, oh, okay, cool, fine. I closed the app out. I'm like, I've got a little more, since it's only gonna take me 7 minutes. I'm not gonna like, because I think I had opened it up like maybe 30 to 20 minutes, like in that range before I needed to leave. So I was just like, I've got time. I'll just, you know, when I get a little bit, I don't want to get there super early, you know. So I'll call the Uber in a few minutes, like 15 minutes from now. I'll call the Uber or request the Uber. You can tell I'm old and used to like calling cabs. So yeah, so 15 minutes goes by and I'm like, okay, let me request my Uber. I open up the app and the $7 ride is now $23 because that the Creators and Friends event triggered surge pricing, because all of us influencers, which I didn't even think about, all of us influencers were converging on this one location, and it shot the pricing of all of the Ubers sky freaking high. And I wanted to just put the clown emoji on my face. It was just like, why didn't I think of that? I should have just requested it at that price and just like, I don't know. But I don't know. I was just like, I felt like that meme of the woman who's just like, do you know the, if I can find the meme, I'm gonna. So yeah, I was just like, this is wild. So I wound up, I closed the app out and I was like, let me see if it'll go down. But I didn't want to be late. So I was like, okay, I'm going to close it for 5 more minutes and then I'm going to reopen it and see if it goes down even a little bit, you know. It went down by like $1. So I was like, okay, this is what it is. You are getting hosed and you know it, but it is what it is. So I requested my Uber and I got there. As soon as I walk in, there is Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun, looking like a little sparkly goddess in this beautiful Dress for the Population dress. She looked so beautiful. It was kind of ridiculous. I was wearing like a black dress, like a black, I had bought a dress, ordered a dress. It was a Reformation dress. It didn't fit. I sent it back. I just decided, I was like, you know what, Amira, wear something that you know, that you love, that you feel good in, that you feel confident in, that you like the way your body looks in. So I wore this Mara Hoffman dress that I've owned for a few years now, that I got secondhand, that I absolutely love. I love the way my body looks in it. Every time I put that dress on, I'm just like, so it's feeling good, but it's like a simple black dress with like a batu neckline, and it's kind of low in the back, and it's long, like quarter length sleeves. I love that dress. It's beautiful. She's wearing this sparkly, like, I mean, she looked so amazing and her makeup was so amazing. And I was just like, oh, should I have worn sparkles? I thought about it, but she looked so good. I was like, wait a minute. Am I underdressed? I was not, but she just looked so amazing. And then over in the corner, I see Samantha March. And the first thing I thought when I saw her, and this is so funny because Samantha's beautiful. Like, if you watch her videos, you know she's a beautiful woman. But she's even prettier in person. So when she walked up to me, we hugged, and the first thing I said out of my mouth was, "You're so pretty." And I felt like an idiot because, like, well, yeah, of course she is. But also, it's just my brain just went, oh, she's even prettier in person. Oh my God, you're so pretty. This is why I don't do parties and stuff very often, because I just feel like I'm a little awkward when it comes to that type of thing. I am an introvert, and I am more like the type of person, I flourish at like dinner parties, you know, or one-on-one events. When I have to like mingle and talk to people, it can become a little sketchy, a little dicey for me. I'm using the shade Ebb, and I don't know how I feel about it now that I'm putting it on here, but we've committed, so we're gonna see it through. So that was the first thing I said to her. Then I see Hot Mess Tom. Now, Hot Mess Tom and I know each other, but we don't know each other. You know, we've chatted. We have like a mutual friend. You know, we kind of met through Hannah, who shouted us out in the same video, and then we were both like about the same thing, and then I was like, I don't know them, and they were like, I don't know her. So we kind of like started following each other, but we had never really met. And I was so relieved to see them, because I was like, I don't know anyone here. Like at that point I kind of did a survey, and I was like, I don't know anyone here. And I started to get that like social like panic that you get when you're a person in a room full of people you've never met before. But it's also people that you know because you've watched them. And so you have that weird parasocial dynamic of like, you feel like you know them, but you're a complete stranger to them, and they're really a complete stranger to you. And I saw Hot Mess Tom, and I was like, oh my God, it's you. I was so happy to see them. And I kind of just, I told Hot Mess Tom, I was like, listen, I'm going to glom onto you for this evening. And Tom was wonderful. I was like, you're going to be my emotional support human. And they were so lovely to me, and let me glom onto them for as long as I needed to. And then Lauren May Beauty and Kelly Gooch walked in, and I was just like, and Hot Mess Tom is friends with them. So they were like, oh, I'll take you over and introduce you. So I got to meet Lauren May and Kelly, who are both lovely. And then, I kind of just mingled around with Hot Mess Tom for a little while. And then I met Ashley from Dr. Ash and her makeup stash, who, she had a crazy day. She had literally flown in and got dressed on the plane and came directly to the party. Wild. But she looked amazing. And we found out that we were city sisters. We're both from Chicago. We both live in Chicago. So that was exciting, because I don't really know anyone that does what I, YouTube here, like personally, other than I have a friend who kind of used to do YouTube just like casually, but she doesn't really do it anymore. So yeah, I didn't really know anyone, and it was exciting to meet someone from Chicago. We were like, we gotta like hang out. I met Beauty in the Frizz, who is fantastic, and we kind of just all hung out and got to know each other. And Hot Mess Tom was so funny. They were like, you've spread your wings like a little butterfly. I was like, thank you. Because I just started mingling, and I started talking to Lauren May, who is fantastic. She is such a sweet, down-to-earth person, and she immediately made me feel comfortable talking to her. I didn't feel like I was, it wasn't a weird situation or anything like that. I felt, it wasn't like, this sort of like, when you talk to someone who's like, well, I'm this and you're that. It was none of that. It was none of that in that room at all, in that event at all that night, which is amazing. And then I met Angelica, which let me just say, I got so socially awkward with Angelica, because here's the thing about Angelica. She is super sweet and super nice, but the thing is that how when you meet someone and you want to say something more, but you don't want to overwhelm them, so then you just kind of are a little bit weird. That's how I was with her. Because she's one of the people who inspired me to start my channel, and I wanted to say that, but it actually kind of made me a little emotional to say. So I was like, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to start crying in front of Angelica. That's weird. So I was just like, I've been following you since 2017. And she's like, oh my God, and she's so sweet. And we had a conversation about being in the age bracket that we're all in, and how we're seeing the trends, the fashion trends come back around. It's wild to see. So we had a nice little bonding moment, like a group of us, about being of that age and seeing all these things come back around. I met Natalia, who is such a lovely person. She's so sweet, and she had this her makeup was really simple and classic, but she had this line of teal on her lash line that perfectly matched her belt. And you know how when you're a makeup girly and you notice those things and it just gives you a little, that's how I, that sounds like your eyes match your belt, because I'm a makeup dork, and those types of things make me very excited. Okay. So yeah, so this is the eye look. I haven't done my mascara yet, but guys, I actually, all right. I mean, everyone was right. This palette kind of slaps. It kind of slaps. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you guys out just a little bit. It kind of slaps. I'm actually shocked how much this slaps. Okay. All right, mascara. Okay, I bought this one with me to Vegas, but then I also bought this one when I was at Sephora because it was on sale for like $5 hairs, and I was like, I've never tried a Sephora mascara, and this one, when I put it on, I was really underwhelmed. It gives length, it gives no volume. This one is supposed to give length and volume. I only tried it once. I don't know how I feel about it. I think I need to use it more and let the air get to it and all that good stuff. So we're going to use it again here. But the Lancome one, I am not a fan of. And honestly, guys, this is like the third or fourth Lancome mascara that I've tried that I've been underwhelmed by. And I just feel like Lancome mascaras are not for me. They're just not for me. So I'm just gonna maybe I just have to accept that. And you know, luckily I didn't purchase that one. I got it as a sample, so it's not like I wasted my own money on that. But now I just have to like know that, because I've tried all of the really popular ones. This one is the Defenses. I've tried the one in the pink tube. I've tried, there's another one, forget what the color of the tube is, but you know, the pink and black tube, the one that everyone, the cult classic one. And then I've tried Monsieur Big. I've tried that one. I didn't like that one. So I've tried like the really popular ones, and I just don't love them, you know? Like, I think this Sephora one is better than the Lancome one. It's not fantastic, but I think it's better. Already. I'm like, this is better. All right, guys, I'm back. So this is the finished look, except for lips. I don't know what I'm doing for my lips. I'm gonna take my lip balm off. Take up any like foundation that's like hanging out. But yeah, the party itself was such a lovely event, and it was intimate. It was like just enough people for me to not feel completely overwhelmed, because Tom and I were talking about this, and we were both afraid that it was going to be like a dark room with a bunch of people where everyone's sort of like yelling to hear each other. And it wasn't. We were able to have real conversations and really get to know each other, and that was exciting for me. And everyone went out after the fact, like at the after party, but I was exhausted. Also, I don't drink, so it's weird for me to be in like a bar club area where everyone's drinking and I'm not. I used to do that in my like youth. I would be like, okay, but now I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Like, I know that that's just like not my scene, so I don't even like pretend that it is, you know? I have this lipstick from Moira, my friend Sophie. She is Sophie Does Makeup on Instagram. Sent me a little care package. She's so sweet. She sends me like boxes of like goodies that she gets, that she gets a lot of PR, and so she will send stuff. That's a little too red I think for this look. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna try it on. Yeah, it's kind of sheer actually. Yeah, that's a little too intense. I think I want to like I think I want a pink lip. What do you think? A pink lip, guys? I think a pink lip would be better. I don't have a new pink lippy though. I have lip pencils. I have some more. Oh, this is pretty. Let's look at this. So this is a Moira, and this is the shade Queen. Let's try it. I've tried more lip pencils before, and I don't dislike them. They're actually pretty decent. Actually, that's really pretty. Let's try this. I'm just gonna use this and fill my lips in. Maybe with like a clear gloss over it. Let me go grab a clear gloss. All right, so I have here the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Glaze, and this is just the clear, and I'm just gonna apply this a little bit over this to get some shine. But yeah, it was a really nice, it turned out to be a really nice like trip. Now, part two of this pants story, right? So I told you guys I went back to the mall. So I wasn't planning on going back to the mall. This is what happens when you do stuff at like 4:30 in the morning. I picked up the pants. I got them in the size that I normally wear. I went to try to put them on to wear. Sunday morning. Couldn't get in them. I think they were mislabeled. They were like, they felt 2 sizes smaller than the size on the label. So I was back to only 1 pair of pants. I was like, well, I'm not keeping them, so I have to return them. So I wound up going back to that mall before my brunch on Sunday morning and return them. And I wound up just having 1 pair of pants the whole trip anyway. Guys, your girl was on the struggle bus with that. I was on the struggle bus for real, for real. All right. So yeah, so I went back to the Town Square Mall and returned those pants. That was a complete waste of a trip there for that anyway. Not for like all the other things I bought, because I'm happy with everything else I got. But yeah, so Sunday night. Saturday night at the event, we get our goodie bag. And if I can find it, it's over here. Let me grab it. I'm going to show it to you. Saturday night, we get our little goodie bags that we were getting for the event. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, those are huge. They are these giant, beautiful cases from Allie Glines, who was so lovely to have like given these to us. And they have the little compartments inside. And then we also got like some items from like Surat, which, did I bring that over here? Because I was originally going to use this, but I decided to use the palette. Here it is. So we got one of these beautiful souffle shadows from Surat. And yes, they do feel like, they're like bouncy. They're like bouncy, guys. Look. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want to cut it with my finger, so I'm like boom, boom, boom. It's bouncy. And you get a little product there. It's bouncy. It's literally, it's such, and it feels wet. Like my finger now feels wet. I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued by that and very excited to use it. But yeah, so we got a couple things from, we got something from Surat. We got some things from Sigma. We got some of the 3 of the lip colors from Allie Glines' makeup line, Robbie Beauty, which I've been wearing Dahlia like since I got it, since Saturday night. I wore it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I almost grabbed it now, but it's kind of sheer and I wanted a little more color on my lips. But yeah, so we got some lovely items. We got this beautiful nail polish from Cleona, but I brought a carry-on, remember? And I left room in my carry-on. So I was like, I'll be fine. I'm thinking we're gonna get like a little, no, we got this beautiful but enormous Allie Glines case. And I was like, oh no, because I had no place to put it. So I wound up checking my carry-on and using this big box, this big thing as my carry-on on the plane. Like I packed all of my like liquids, and I was able to put my liquids and my powders, everything fit, because it comes with these beautiful cubes and everything was separated out. I put like my jewelry stuff, and I was able to put everything that I normally would have just put my carry-on in there and then checked my bag. But yeah, I call myself being prepared by leaving space, but it was not enough space. And I think the lesson that I learned from this trip as far as packing goes is to not be minimalist when it comes to when you're traveling for an event. I think for me, I was just in like my normal travel mode. Like I'm just going for a couple of days. I don't like to pack a lot. And I realize now if I just brought a larger luggage, I would have been golden, and it would have been fine. I mean, it all worked out, but I was like, there's other things that I maybe wanted to buy that I just didn't have space for, and maybe that's a good thing. It kept me from like, you know, buying more than I needed to. But yeah, I think I was more in like my normal travel mode as opposed to special event travel mode. And I just noticed that when I was looking at everybody else's stories and they were showing their luggage and stuff, I was like, oh, everybody everybody bought like real luggage. Duly noted. I did not. And that was probably, you know, not the best choice. So yeah, that was my lesson learned on that trip. I think for any other normal like travel that I do, a carry-on would be fine. But I think for this particular event, I think I needed a larger piece of luggage. So yeah, guys, that was my sort of summary of my trip and the event itself. Everyone was lovely. I really loved bonding with Lauren May over perfume. We talked about perfume for really long time. We talked more about perfume than we did makeup. We did talk about makeup, but we didn't talk about we didn't talk about as much as we did scent and perfume, because you know she has her perfume channel and I am a scent girly. Like the majority of the things I bought on this trip, guys, has been fragrance, and then I've purchased a few fragrances since I got back. Winter and spring are like my fragrance buying seasons. I get into like this mode of just like buy fragrance, and that's where I'm at. I haven't actually bought a lot of makeup in general in the past. Since like the Sephora sale, I haven't really bought a whole lot. So yeah, it's weird because I've had a lot of new makeup come into my life, but it's mostly from like I said, my friend sent me a care package and then the items that we got from the event. But outside of that, I haven't really bought a whole lot. So yeah, that's that on that, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this palette? Like, do you want to see me do more with it? Do you like the look I created with it? Was this a sleeper hit for you, as it seems to have been for so many people? I will say I am impressed by this in the sense that I think the formula and the colors are more dimensional than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more black and gray, but it's not. There's a lot of like gunmetal, navy, silvery toned blues, a little bit of pink, you know, some champagne, a little. I'm more impressed by this color story than I was anticipating being, and you see the look was super easy to create. I'm actually loving it. This is so pretty. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this palette. If you enjoyed today's video, if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. Everything that I used today, guys, will be listed in the description box down below. They will more than likely be affiliate links, so if you click on them, I get a small commission. Thank you very much if you use those links to support me. If you do not want to use those links, thank you anyway, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.